when somebody is given 97% of the stories are bad about a person, that's no longer free speech, that's no longer anything, that's just cheating.
When you have 98 or 97% of the news stories over that, he said, no, he just said it. I'm playing back exactly the message.
97% of stories about him on
he
newscasts
said was
are
cheating. But he said it was cheating. Yeah, I'm repeating the clip you just played because I didn't watch that. You just played it for me for the first time. Okay, then what would he be referring to when he said cheating?
He was referring to
because he didn't say free speech.
He believes it was a very long statement that he made. He was saying that he believes that the stories on network television about him are negative, and that it should be potentially illegal. That is my question to you.
Okay, well, that is not. I can't, Dana. I can't answer a question I didn't hear. I'm repeating what the clip you just played. What the clip you just played said that and it said that it is cheating. That's his words. That's not me making the assumption. That's not paraphrasing what he said. That's the clip you played. And that 100%, because we've had this conversation, that 100% refers to elections. When you have 97% of the news stories on him that's constantly telling bad stories, and by the way, that wasn't even close what was happening with Biden in office. You guys were covering it up constantly, what he was doing. And so when 97% of the news stories are negative about him and 99% about Pete Hegseth is negative, it is cheating because you're putting out a narrative that isn't true.
I guess my question...
I want to point out the hypocrisy on the left again over just what happened yesterday, Friday in the House of Representatives when you had Melissa Hartman, the state representative that was assassinated. A resolution came forward. The entire House unanimously supported to condemn and to honor the life of her, condemn the assassination and honor the life. That same resolution with a name change said Charlie Kirk. What happened?
Senator,
I want to point this out though. You had 58. But I want to point it out too, because hypocrisy for both sides on the free speech needs to be pointed out, because the same resolution that had Charlie Kirk's name on, you had 58 representatives vote no, 38 voted present, 22 chose not to vote. That is silent. So you had 118 individuals that didn't condemn it because
Senator,
why? Because of hypocrisy over both sides.
He's one of the conservatives who is saying, whoa, just be careful. It's Ted Cruz, who's definitely not a liberal, Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, and others saying that they are concerned that if the Trump FCC and the president himself go down this road, that what's to say that the same thing couldn't happen when Democrats take office, and
why don't we? They made a decision because Jimmy Kimmel said something that was extremely insensitive and a flat-out lie about the President of the United States, and there was no excuse for it. There was no excuse for making a joke. I don't care if you're a comedian or who you are, to making a joke about an assassination. There's no room for that at all. These are the same people that didn't stick up for Tucker Carlson when he got fired for speaking his mind about COVID on Fox. So this isn't a two-way street at this point. This is the left that's being extremely hypocritical of themselves, and the hypocrisy is bad.
It asks free speech.
Yeah. Why don't we ask the executives of ABC why they fired Jimmy Kimmel? Maybe it was the fact that his show was losing money. I don't know. Maybe they were looking for an exit, but I really don't believe ABC would have decided to fire Jimmy Kimmel over a threat. ABC has been a long-standing critic of President Trump. They did it because they felt like it didn't meet their brand anymore. That's it. So while you and I can debate why they did it, we can assume that it was because of the message.
But there was
the only person that can answer that question is their executive board. That's it.
I want to move on, but there was pressure from the FCC very publicly, and from the President of the United States threatening to take away licenses.
But free speech is free speech. Hateful speech is also free speech. But when it leads to violence, now that's a crossover, and people should be held accountable for that.
Okay, we are out of time. I wanted to ask you about one other thing very quickly about the president making a pretty remarkable statement on his Truth Social